Democratic Alliance and the PA Patriotic Alliance are talking about the possibility of this government of nonsensical unity falling apart because they say that they were blindsided in the signing of the land expropriation bill. What the bill is supposed to be basically speaking to is the fact that land can be expropriated without compensation. But I haven't read the text of the people when I'm there. In as much as
Yeah.
I'm not one of the speakers, but I'd love to be able to speak up on the issue.
Yeah. Well, today's discussion is about what is it that we believe reparation means in each region and globally. So today we need to take a position and formulate what we see in each of the global region. If what's happening in Arusha is about a global position or a African Union position, then we need to find that out and have a discussion today. But certainly, please remember to bring it up later on so that we can actually have that discussion.
Sure,
Before you've got
do
your
that.
hand up, all right. Before you've got your hand up, and after you, if there's no one else, we'll go to Elder Earl, Namibia.
Okay.
Go ahead. No,
okay.
Ifo.
Sorry.
No,
sorry.
if you hold on a minute, Elder Earl, Ifo's got a question for Sabella. So go ahead, Ifo.
Okay. I was wondering what the I wanted to get some context to them mentioning that some people were sponsored by, or organizations were sponsored by George Soros. I'm asking that only because I hear that a lot, and it's often done, and I don't know if they're saying that as a positive or a negative or neutral. So I wanted to get clarification on that before I could ask my question.
Okay, sure. I personally say it from a negative, my brother, because the entities that I am aware of that are working within the continent, particularly that are sponsored by Open Society, are not working for the people. They are gatekeepers who basically work from a perspective that seems as though they are articulating the voice of the people. But in essence, what they are doing is keeping people busy with side issues that do not necessarily speak to their realities. So the money that is pumped in not so much to advance the people's interests, but instead to advance the interests of the funders and therefore limit the effectiveness of anything else that these people are able to do. And they tend to work in such a manner that for as long as there is anything progressive that is working for the people and they are within that space, they come in and manage to pacify the anger of the people and rechannel it. So I say it from a negative, my brother.
Okay. Just before
thanks.
before you come back, Ifo, just to say, Sam is here also from South Africa, so I hope he'll be able to dip in, and I have a couple of questions after your question. Go ahead.
From a revolutionary standpoint, I'm always leery when we have the same position as our enemies. Our sworn enemies do not like George Soros. And so I think we should be mindful of the conclusions we're jumping to. That being said, if I send somebody to the market to buy me chicken and they come back with fish, the problem is in the person that went to the market, not with the person that sent them money. And I think that a lot of times we have some very brilliant Africans who have convinced some people who are trying to support conscious Africans that they are part of the solution when they're actually, as you accurately described them, as gatekeepers. But I think we should be conscious that the right wing, especially in North America, where I'm currently based, have been actively working to try to undermine the democratic things that some wealthy folks like George Soros have been trying to assist with. So let's be conscious that it may not. I'm not saying that George Soros is perfect, but I'm saying that if somebody buys the idea that their funds are going to good, we should be conscious of not blaming the funds source, but pay attention to who is doing the work. It's the same thing as when IMF loans come to us. Well, IMF is corrupt, so that's a different story. But there's some aid that come to some African countries. I would take Nigeria for an example, since I'm intimately familiar because that's where I was born. And that aid money is often stolen. I wouldn't say that the aid money was bad necessarily, except if it was tied aid. But we need to pay attention because a lot of times it's those same gatekeepers that are stealing the money in Nigeria that will steal money from Jeff Soros. While the image that they're painting to the funders is like they're angels that are trying to help the people on the ground, even though we on the ground can see that they're our enemies. But I don't think the funders know that. Some of the funders do. I know that, but I think we should be mindful when the enemies of when those that the G8 are speaking out against and those that the likes of Trump are speaking out against.
This meeting is being recorded.
I completely deplore the treatment that the miners have been receiving, and indeed the way social media and a lot of comrades in South Africa seem to paint them as illegal, immigrant. Again, Africans on the African continent being called illegal is something I find perverse. But alongside that, you're absolutely right. The police have become agents of the capitalist state and owners of the mine, and they're usually not our own people. And again, Cyril Ramaphosa, who has a history of murdering miners, is currently your president. So that presents a rather worrying situation. But the impression we were being given by the media was that the matter was over and they were now releasing food and allowing people to get water and food and so on, whilst acknowledging that quite a few of them had died. But you seem to be saying now it's not the case. The situation continues. The miners are still down there. The police cordon is still there. So I just wondered if you could clarify that. The other thing is, let me leave it there. I was going to say something.
Now,
let me do it. I get to some extent what you're saying, because it could be the case that a law or a decision or a motion has been put forward to suggest that there will be confiscation or reclaiming our land. Yeah, I don't know this thing about European thinking they own the land.
You're breaking up, Brother Clement.
Sorry?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. Let me just land, because, it could be
breaking up, my brother.
Okay. It could be as you're suggesting that perhaps...
You're clear, Elder Glenroy, but I noticed Sabella's network is low.
Okay,
so you're cutting out for Sabella, but you're clear to the rest of us.
Let me just finish and let you come back, Sabella. Yeah, it could be that people are rightfully suspicious because this is radical. This is what Zimbabwe did in the sense of compensation without compensation. But surely the South African people can hold Ramaphosa to that. You know, I'm getting the impression from you don't think he's genuine, and I don't trust him, but you know, I would expect others around who can make sure he does what he's supposed to do. I'm not sure if Sabella might have dropped off. Hopefully Sam is still here. I really would want the question to go to Sabella. But Ebony, you're here. You've got your hand up. I think Sabella has... there you are. You're still on. So I'll let Ebony put her question and then come back to you, Sabella. So go ahead, Ebony.
Thank you. This is a question for Ifo. I'm just wondering, you know, what are the...
Wait. My sister Ifo has not given a report. He was just asking a question of Sabella.
I'm sorry. I'll wait for Ifo then. I'm sorry.
Okay, but you have a question about Canada rather than South Africa, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thanks. Sam, I see you're online. Before we go back to Sabella, do you have anything you want to add before? Sabella's told us about the mining and about the, let's call it a proclamation from
recording in progress.
The South African government about the land issue. That's simply where it is. So I don't know if you want to add anything, or can I go back to Sabella?
The only new thing, I'm not sure if he didn't report about 9 of our peacekeeping SADC brigade in DRC, 9 of South African SNDF